Hello and welcome. Angela Meiritz-Reid here, Stampin' Up demonstrator based in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for joining me today. This is the card I'm going to create today. It's for the Global Design Project. The theme this week is winter, so I've chosen to use these gorgeous snowflakes which are out of the Chic Dies. All the products I've used are available at my online store and are listed in the description box below. And I've also created a PDF tutorial which is available via my blog, and a link to my blog will be in the description box as well. So to get started, I've used a thick basic white card base, and then the next layer is just the ordinary plain white cardstock, and then I've got a piece of the adhesive sheet. So all these have been die cut in the white with the adhesive sheet on the back, so that turns them into stickers and makes it easy to adhere to the front of this panel here. Saves trying to get glue onto those fiddly little pieces. So I'm just going to adhere that to there, and I'm going to bring in my large Stampin' emboss and die cutting machine and put a nice new clean plate on the top, because I find as they you use them, I end up getting messy marks on my white cardstock, so this saves that happening. So I need to die cut quite a few of these, so it's quite good too with the little ones. You can get 2 of those. I'll just run this through. Sorry, it will jiggle, but I just wanted you to see how I did it. So I always run, when it's a fiddly sort of die, I run it backwards and forwards. I'm sorry, my light is reflecting in there, but hopefully you'll be able to see it okay. And then they'll just hopefully pop out reasonably easily. So I just want to die cut 4 of those. So I'll just poke those out, those little holes there, make it easy to make sure it comes out, the whole thing. One's already come out, so I'll just run that. Oh, I've lost my, oh, it's under here. Oops, stuck. Let's move that away a bit. And do that again. Twice might be enough. Just with that extra thickness of the adhesive sheet on the back, you do need to go through a little bit more. Oh, that has come out all right, so that's good. Just with them being so delicate, you don't want to tear them. So I already have, I need 6 of the small ones, and I had a couple left from last time. So I just need, and I've got 4 large and 4 small, so do a couple more of these. So if you are not creating as I'm doing this, you can speed through this a little bit. Otherwise, if you're doing it with me, this is real time. I'll just take those last 2 out, and And I don't worry about pulling those bits out, because they will, when you take the adhesive sheet off, it does tend to pull a few more of those out. Hopefully I've got enough room just to squeeze those last two in. Out of the way. Right, so what I'm going to do is bring in that white panel. So this is the white panel here. And now that I've got a guide of where to put everything, it's a little bit easier. But the first time when I was laying it out, it was a little bit tricky to make sure they all fitted. You could do them so that if they went off the edge, you could just trim the edge, but I kept them all within the confines of here. So I'll bring them all in here. And so because I've got this as a template, it does make life a little bit easier this time. So I'll just peel that back. So the back comes off reasonably easily. And just pop it on there and give it a firm press down. Pull that off, and see it does pull out some of those. And because there's adhesive, that does, if the adhesives come off, it comes out quite easily. So then just pop that one in about there. Give it a good press. Medium size one. So that's just pulling those out. Tuck that down about there. It's just a little bit like a wee jigsaw puzzle, really, just trying to fit them in. They're so pretty, snowflakes. There's just something about them. But you could do this. They don't have to be white. You could do this any colour, I think. Let's see. Some are going to be hidden under there, but I'll still pop them in just in case I end up putting it slightly different place. It's a little bit fiddly, but not too bad, and it doesn't really take too much time once you've done your die cutting. And there's not much else to it, so that's sort of the biggest part, really. And I think they do lift off reasonably easily, even though I poked that quite well down. A little one here. Sometimes it's like, just stick it down. Sometimes we can faff, can't we, too much? Really, it's not such a big issue. And last one. Oh, I have managed to put that one up. Tuck that in there, put that one back in there. and then the light, that's going to be hidden anyway, so it's not too bad. And that one on there. So what I did is then just rubbed over the back of that to give that a good press down, because I think sometimes you can, if you're rubbing on the top, potentially catch one of them and then do some damage, so that avoided that. And then just want to pop that onto the base, so just pop some dimensionals on the back of there, or you could do a backing panel like I've done in the past. Just grab some more. That should be okay. If you wanted a sturdier panel, you could also use the thicker A4 cardstock too. And then, so that's that piece, you can see it now. So I'm just going to, actually I wonder about, I seem to have a few more gaps down there, but that's right, I can fill those in with my sparkly bits. I have, yeah, I think that'll be okay. So I've got a small square of basic white and my pool party, and I've got this, you can't see, it's Noel from the Framed and Festive. So I'm just going to stamp that, square I think anyway, so no amount of turning it round will help with it. So, and I've just got one of the circles from the stylish shapes dies. There are too many tongue twisters, I think. It's early in the morning. Right, so I'm just going to pop that on there and run that through. See, sorry, being in the desk, put that out of the way, and then that's going to sit right there. Then to create the ribbon, I've got 80 centimeters of ribbon, and I'm just going to trim that right up the middle, and it doesn't have to be even, don't worry too much if it's not, because once it's sort of tied in the bow and all the loops and tails and things, it won't be noticeable. It's just a bit tricky. Haven't found a perfect way of doing this. Probably be more helpful if I had an extra pair of hands, but going a bit skew off there. This is one of Tammy Wilson's famous bows. I love her bows. Right, so what you want to do is have your tail sort of sticking down about that much, and just put that between your thumb and your middle finger and do a loop, and do the loop about this size you'd like it to be. So that's about what I'd like, and then keeping it together, do the same here. You just have to sort of eyeball it and hope for the best, and then keeping it together, do, just, as you can see it's a little bit tricky, I'll just move that out of the way so you can hopefully see reasonably well. Do another loop, and tuck that under your thumb again, and so about this, so they're the same size. So if you're happy with that, and then do another one down the bottom. It's twisting a bit, that's take it around that way. Doesn't really matter if it twists, it just adds a bit of interest to it really. And then with this you're going to loop it around the back of those, and then again tuck that under your thumb, and then this tail, I'll pull those out of the way, those are the loops of the bow, but that's the loop I just tied around the back, and I'm just going to flick that tail through it, and see, so it's just gone around it. Then I'm going to pull, what I'm going to do is put those on either side of there and pull that piece there. That has got. And then what I tend to do is put all the loops over my finger like that, and just pull down to hope that they're sort of similar sort of length. Or alternatively just pull out. I haven't made that probably as big as that other one. So, but you can see, and then you can just sort of flail those bits out. So I'll trim that off to be the same length as that. And I'm going to pop it onto here. So I'm just going to get a glue dot, because these are the best things for this, I think. So I'm just going to tuck that in about there. And then I want to pop those tails so they go down behind those loops, and those ones there, I might just thread them through the middle of those loops. So that one doesn't want to go, so they sit underneath. And then I might just trim them off just a little bit. So you could definitely use less than the 80 centimetres. And I see it just depends how big you want to make your bow. And then I want to adhere that. So what I'm going to do is, because this bow's, the knot in the bow is quite high, I'm going to pop, it's going to sit, I'm going to put them here on here. So I've got a couple there, and then what I'm going to do is pop another one on top of each of those, so you can see hopefully that it's too high. And then all that rubbish, then I want to get that nice and straight and pop that sort of over the edge of the bow. So I've got those bits, and you can, because there's no adhesive behind that, I can sort of have a play around with that, how I want that to look. And then lastly, what I've done is I've added all these gorgeous little sparkly bits. Now these, I've got them all here on my tray, are the For Everything Fancy sequins, and they come in this green, they come in this pretty blue, and in the pink. So each of them have this lovely range of sparkly sequins. So what I've done is I've actually pulled the some out already, and these ones are faceted and they're really pretty. And I'm just going to add little dots of glue, and I just want to sprinkle those around. I'm going to put a couple in there just to take up that bit of extra space, and put a couple in here. I just like to keep it an even number, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That should be okay. So I'm just using my take your pick tool, just going to pick them up and drop them hopefully onto that glue. So subtle and pretty. I didn't want to I wanted to keep the card fairly just with the pool party and the white. And don't worry too much about the glue because it will dry clear, so you won't see that. So have I got everything? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's it. So that is my card for this week. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll give that a try. And as you can see, yeah, that this bow is quite a lot smaller, but I think it still looks quite good. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, and remember to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And oh, see, I've managed to get that stuck on there already. I'll be back next week with next week's it's not I should have left it to dry. Yeah, I'll be back next week with next week's global design project. Take care. Bye for now.